Hi everybody, this is Craig, your instructor for TIE 542. This video is going to talk about the process of setting up a Google site to contain the TIE 542 online course portfolio and the final project. And I'm going to set up the basic structure for the final project, which I'm assuming would be a web quest in this particular video. So you'll see I'm now on the Google Sites homepage, sites.google.com, and I'm going to create a new site. And these are templates that have all kinds of stuff in them. I find it easier to start with a blank one and then later maybe learn from the templates how to apply certain things. But to use these and then to edit them to get where you want is just tedious. So I'm just going to start with a blank template. And I'm going to name the site Craig's TIE 542 portfolio. And I'm going to select a theme just because I don't like the sort of plain. And I'm going to choose this one. What the heck? And more options. If I go into that, site description, this site contains assignments including the final project for TIE 542 National. That way the site could be searched. It is not mature. Type in the CAPTCHA. I kind of hate these CAPTCHA things because I often get them wrong. CATERP. That's a guess. Let's try it. All right, so it created my site. Now, the nice thing about starting with a blank is that it's clean. There's nothing I have to delete. There's nothing I have to move around, etc., etc. So, home page. Now, the home page is going to contain links to the other portions of the site. So I'm going to edit this page to put in some links. Right. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to say, what are my assignments for this course? Okay, so inquiry, definition, and rubric. Hot list, blog posts. What else for this class? I'm going to have a direct link to the teaching guide for WebQuest. And then I'm going to have the WebQuest itself. Now, of course, the teaching guide will also be linked into the WebQuest itself. We'll deal with that later. All right. And I'm going to make these as links. If I select them and choose link, it's going to want to create. Okay, so site pages. Now I haven't made the sites yet, or the pages yet, but I'm going to. So I'm going to link this one to inquiry, and I'm going to create a new page. All right, new page title, inquiry. I'm just going to call it inquiry for now. Create page. All right, so that's the one we want right there. That's fine. Okay. All right. Then I'm going to make the hot list a link to a new page. All right. So I'm going to. Okay. Good. Now, under the web quest, we're going to be putting links to the various parts of the web quest. So let me do that. So let me save this for now. And then I'm going to go into the web quest page, and I'm going to make links here. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to say, I'm going to make this the introduction to the web quest, right? I got to click this to edit it. There we go. I don't know what that little thing is. All right, web quest. So this is the introduction. So I don't need an introduction link. I'm just going to say introduction here. That's going to be a heading. Let's see, we can make it a format, heading level 2. There we go, and here will be the introduction. And we will have additional links, sublinks to this in a minute. So I'm going to save that. And then here I'm going to make new pages that are going to be under this page. So I'm going to create a new page for the task. I'm going to put it under WebQuest. That's all right. Okay. And then I'm going to make another page and call it process. Right, I'm going to go back to WebQuest. Not right, wait. Stay on the page. I have to save this here. And I'm going to go back to WebQuest. And I'm going to put in a new page, which I'm going to call process. So, new page. So, back to teaching guide, and I'm going to back to the WebQuest, and now I'm going to put in a link to the teaching guide. I guess I do that under manage sites. I can put a link there. Anyway, what I need to do is move this page. This page needs to be moved under home. And if I go to that page and I go to move page, I can move the page to under home. See, if I click this little plus, I could move it somewhere else, but I'm going to put it under home, move. Did that work? Yes, it did. There we go. Okay. Now I'm going to want to change this menu here so that the parts of the WebQuest show up in there. I'll deal with that in a minute. All right. Now, notice one of the things about the WebQuest is that these links are they're in alphabetical order. I don't really want them to be in alphabetical order. It's right here. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to call that 5 conclusion. All right. We'll see if that works to order it correctly. And go back to WebQuests. Okay, so I'm going to have to change these other ones to C. All right, evaluation is 4th. So I'm going to edit that page. And I'm going to call that 4 evaluation. Let's see if that alphabetizes it correctly. I guess what I want is on the introduction to the WebQuest, one of the things that I'm going to want in there is something that says, read the teaching guide for further information about this WebQuest. Let me just put this down here. About the goals and the designing goals of this web-based inquiry project. Right? I'm going to make that link to the teaching guide. Okay. There we go. Aha. Okay. So now, teaching guide. So one of the questions that has been asked is how to handle the teaching guide from the template that I have. So let me go to the template. Obviously I have it on my computer. It's in my TIE 542 site here. I think it's in the syllabus folder. I think that's where I put it. Teaching guide template. There it is. Okay. So now if I open that up, you will see this. Select all, copy, and then come into here and paste. All right. So rather than pasting it as HTML, now this go to link. Okay, let's save that and see what happens. Oh, and then does that work? No. So what I'm going to have to do is change those links. Yeah, so when I pasted it in, these links. Right, so can I edit the HTML directly of the page? Yes, I can. Okay, so what I need to do is see the way that it pasted it in. Right. So for each one of these, it put in, didn't actually link to anything. See how these are just text within these anchor boxes? Right, so they're underlined because they look like links, but they're not actually links. All right. So anchor name equals menu, that works. So let me go down here to Anchor name equals menu. Click here to return to the menu. See, that's also treated that way. Click here to return to the menu. So what I need to do is I need to put in a href equals here. All right. So if I do href equals $sign is the thing that's used for an anchor menu. Let's see if that works. Let me update that. Which one did I do here? Did I do this one? The only way to test it is to save it. So I save it. Now let's see that again. I can, if there's a link, this is the one. Okay, that's the one I changed. I can tell because when I point to it, it makes so if I click that, it works. It goes back to the menu. Okay, so that's good. So what I have to do is I have to edit the HTML directly. Now, I could also build the thing completely from scratch, which might be easier. But let me, because I've started to do this, actually go ahead and do it. So again, what I need to do is change these by adding href equals, right? So I just have to make sure that I do them correctly. So I have to look at what the names are of these links down here. So this is audience. Well, that's the one I corrected before by putting an href. Let me just copy that into all of them. So all of the places where it's click here to return to the menu. Right, I think I have the ones up. Now let me go down. So see, these are already named, so I got to make sure that I link to these correctly from the menu. Otherwise, they won't go to the right spot. And the easiest way to see where they're linked might be to open that up in a new window. Open up the page source in a new window so that I can see what the link names are. Turn to the menu. Do we have any more of those? Here we go. Notice I copied the space too, so that when I pasted it into here, it put the space in correctly. Oh, here's another one. And here's another one. Okay, now let's just see if we can remember these names that we used. Okay, so what we need is we need these names here, right? Those named anchors. So most of these are self-explanatory. Glossary, appendices, assessment and evaluation, materials, instruct, that's an odd one, learning objectives, subject matter, prerequisites, audience, these are all lowercase, goals, rationale, and aim. Okay, good. So now let me go back up here to the menu. All right, menu starts here. Okay, introduction. Now, this case, the href is going to include the number sign. That says that it's a link within the page, intro. Right, and then I'm just going to put these in, and if they don't work, we can fix them later. Right, href equals number sign subject matter. Okay, did I skip one? Yes, I skipped several. All right, so rationale space href equals number sign rationale. If these are more than one word, in other words, there's a space in the anchor name or in the link, then I have to put these in quotes. But they're not, so I don't need to put them in quotes. Learner description. I think I called that audience. Yeah, because that's from a previous version of the teaching guide. So I did mention in the learning materials that knowing a little bit about HTML helps. This is a situation where that is the case. Now, I don't necessarily expect you to have known how to do that because that is, a deeper level of HTML than you may know. But now that you know how I've done it, you should be able to do it. So let me update that. All right, and let me save that. And let me check it. Okay, so introduction, perfect, goes there. Aim doesn't work. Okay, rationale works. General goals doesn't work. That's because it's called goals. Learning description works. Prerequisites works. So now you can tell which ones don't work because these don't show the visited link color because I haven't visited these links. So aim and general goals are the ones that I need to edit. So I'm going to go back in. And remember, I'm editing the HTML. So menu, let's see, aim. Here we go. href equals $ aim. And what was the other one? General goals didn't work. Where is it? General goals, there it is. Okay. Goals. All right. Update. Save. Test. Beautiful. Beautiful. Okay, so now I just want to do some editing of the formatting here. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these and I'm going to make these bullets. Bullets. All right, and then here where there are these blanks, this is just in the formatting somehow. I go like that, and backspace, delete, enter, right? All right, that makes my menu a little bit cleaner, right? So it all kind of shows up. Might as well edit this here now. All right, so let's just say that my web quest is going to be called, just make something off the top of my head, the color of money. And I have no idea what it's about, but just to put something in there, and I'm going to make that a link to the WebQuest homepage. Okay, there we go. Now I don't need that because it's duplicative of what's above. There we go. Now this is going to be where I'm going to actually type in my stuff, right? Got my teaching guide together. Okay, save that. Okay, so let's see what we've got here. We've got a site that includes a home page, right? It's got the links to the major parts of it right here. I need some kind of a text box in here that basically says, welcome to my, oops, I'm going to do it down here. Welcome to my TIE 542 online course. You know what I want? I want a About Me page, right? To learn more about me, click on About Me. The link to About Me on the left. Obviously it's not there yet, but let me just put in the link here. Create the page. So make a link, create a new page, call it About Me, put it under home, create the page. All right, and About Me, click OK. There we go. Beautiful. Where is it? Oh, it's not going to come up until I hit save. Is that right? Save. Yes. Okay, so it just needed to leave the page and then come back to it. Okay. So this all looks good, and this just happens to be in an order that I can deal with. So I'm just going to leave that. I do want the menu to show the next level. So I got to figure out how to do that. If I go to more, page settings, edit site layout, maybe that's it. Let me go into edit site layout. Okay, yes. All right, sidebar. All right, I want to enable that. Horizontal navigation. If I enable horizontal navigation, what's going to give me? Oh, down here at the bottom. That's good. Okay. Header, enable this, disable header. Custom footer. Okay, so let me do a custom footer. And I'm just going to have that say, this site was created by Craig A. Cunningham. Contents, copyright 2013. To contact me, click here, insert a link. All right, so sites, pages, web address. That's what I need. I need the web address, mail to @nl.edu. Okay, open your window. Okay, there we go. Now that'll work. Okay, so click OK. I actually want to center that. If I go back here, and maybe I have to try that. No, all right, so there we go. Okay, so you got to select the whole line. That's weird, or maybe you don't. All right, so that did what I wanted to do anyway. Okay, let's see here. Okay, so we've got our basic site layout here. Configure navigation. That's what I want. So why didn't I see that before? All right. Oh, so here when you're in the edit site layout, you can edit the sidebar. Beautiful. All right. Display on the left. Okay, just cancel that. This part, edit sidebar item, level of pages to show. It says 2, but it's not showing 2. Let's just say all and say OK. Changes have been saved. Doesn't appear to update it. There we go. Now we got it. That's what I wanted. See the little twisty here? Oh, hello. All right, so there. Now the twisty works. Beautiful. Okay, so I've got my basic site here. All right. I've got my web quest, space for my introduction, link to the teaching guide, sub pages here and that are ordered. They're ordered over here. I've got my various pages. Now I can go in and put links to my hot list. I can add in my definition of inquiry and my rubric here. Okay, so now about the rubric, the inquiry rubric. How do you put a link to it in here, right? Well, you can just put a link to any kind of file, right? So if I go to inquiry and I want to add a file here, documents, webs, there we go, inquiry rubric, there we go. All right, it's uploading it. There we go. And now I'll put a link here. There we go. All right. And then I can just put something in here that says, definition of inquiry. Right, and then down here I say to view my inquiry quotient rubric, click on the link below. All right. Hot list. I can put a link to my Digo hot list. So let me just open up a new window and go to that. Let's see. If I go to vigo.com, my library, and then let's say I want to go to a particular link. So here, if I click on a particular tag, that is my library with everything tagged with that. And notice that the URL now includes the tag at the end of it, tag name. So if I copy that URL, I'll come back over here and I go to hot list. Now in here, I can edit this page to put in that link. I can say to access my hot list, i.e. dgo sites tagged with Web 2.0. Yours would be whatever it was, whatever the tag was. Click here. You know, that's kind of an ugly way to do it, but it'll work for now. Link. I'm going to link to a web address. There's the web address. Paste that in. By the way, these things right here, these %2s and %2 and all that stuff, those are the way that URLs that contain special characters like quotations or spaces get translated when you copy and paste URLs. All right, I'm going to open any link that's external to my Google site. I'm going to open it in a window. All right, so there we go. All right, so I think I've shown you enough for now. I hope that you will contact me with specific questions. I hope this has been helpful, and keep in touch.